Manchester United 1, PSG 3. Well, that didn't go to plan. That really didn't go to plan. No Donny van der Beek starting, which I would have liked to have seen. I said before the game I would have liked to see Henderson start, but when I go into my player ratings, I think David De Gea had a good game, so fair play to him. The yellow card, the first yellow that Fred got for the headbutt, and it wasn't really a headbutt, it was more of a swipe kind of thing. Paredes puts his head on Fred's first, and Fred reacts. Now, Fred shouldn't react how he does, but Paredes doesn't even get a yellow for that, which he should. You could argue Fred could get sent off for that as well, but then Fred gets a second yellow in the second half for a tackle that he won the ball. So, but apparently you can't challenge VAR when someone's on a second yellow, which is a ridiculous rule. Why is that in place? VAR should be there regardless of whether or not you're going to get sent off. That's what it should be down to, these decisions. Why is it not relevant when someone's already on a booking? It doesn't make sense to me. So you could argue Fred could have got sent off in the first half, but Paredes at least deserves a yellow for provoking, and the second yellow Fred gets isn't a booking because he gets the ball. He might take the player out after, but he gets the ball first. So I think Fred, it's a little bit harsh on him. Saying that, he has to have more control over doing that with his head as well. So it's a bit of a difficult one with Fred. Maguire again tonight, awful. Positionally, awful again. Lindelof wasn't a lot better either. Tellez even got beat a few times on crosses, out of position where he should have been closer. Wan-Bissaka I didn't think was great. Scott McTominay was poor. Got skipped past too easily, too often. And just overall performance, most of them were below par, or at least average. We really could have won this game tonight. I think Ollie's to blame a lot for the subs. Should have took Fred off before the second yellow. I mean, he's not going to know that he's going to get a red card, but there's always a chance when you're already on a yellow card. So why have you left it that late? Doesn't make sense to me. And I don't think Fred had a great game. I don't think he was poor, but why risk keeping someone on for that long when you know that they could get sent off, which is what happened. So Ollie got a lot wrong tonight. And PSG were at it from the get-go. And like I said in the preview, we have to get at them from the get-go. And we wasn't for about 20 minutes or so. Well, you could argue the whole first half. They were all over us. Yes, we got an equaliser. But the energy levels and the determination, they just looked so much more up for it than we did. It was like we were in the changing room for the first half. And they got too complacent with it. And it's a combined effort of faults and errors from Ollie and the players. But let's get into the player ratings. David De Gea, he made one world-class save, but then about a minute later, we concede, which isn't his fault, by the way. But it kind of overshadowed his world-class save, because then people would just be like, oh. But then they go up and score about a minute later after that. So I felt a bit sorry for him in that regard. As I said, I wanted Henderson to get a start tonight. He didn't get it, and I think David De Gea had a good game. So fair play to him. Credit where it's due. Just above average for me tonight. I give him a 6. For that save, mainly, I could have given him a 7 even, but I give him a 6. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I thought a lot of issues were coming down his side. Neymar and Mbappe were kind of swapping at times and targeting him. And he was getting exposed a lot, and I don't think it wasn't terrible, but he was getting beat a lot on 1v1s and people getting crosses in. So I don't think it was his best game. Wasn't awful. Certainly wasn't worse than Maguire was. But I give him just below average of a 4. Lindelof I give a 4. I thought he was good in parts and spells, but positionally again for some of the goals, like Maguire's always missing for some reason. And Lindelof is at points as well. I mean, for the Marquinhos goal, the two furthest players back other than De Gea are Cavani, who was the centre forward, is the furthest back. Maguire's in the centre, like on the penalty spot, looking behind where the ball is, nowhere near it, when he should be where Cavani is. and he's at the penalty spot. So I don't get all this, the marking like, and the structure of the team. Why is Cavani in line? I think it was with him and Lindelof and maybe Wan-Bissaka. They were the furthest back. And Marquinhos has got a free hit, and he don't even get a clear connection, and it goes under De Gea, who nearly saved it again. So De Gea is not at fault for that at all. But where's Maguire again? In the penalty spot. Why are you there? I just don't understand it. Cavani should not be covering centre-back spots. So, awful positionally again, all over the place. So Lindelof gets a 4 for me, just below average. Maguire gets a 3, as I said, positionally missing. No leadership again. And just dreadful. Like, we need more. It's not good enough. So 3 for Maguire, and that's being generous. I could have given him lower. Telles, I thought he was on the ball quite a bit, but defensively he was letting crosses in quite a bit, and we didn't see a lot of him going forward. Saying that, I think he was the best out of the back 4, so I'd give him an average of a 5. Fred, obviously, it was about him this game. There was a lot of spotlight on him just because of how it went and played out, but I thought he was average. I don't think he did anything spectacular, and I don't think he did anything like really poor. So I'll give him a 5. As I said, it was a bit of a mix-up with Fred tonight. You could have got sent off, but then because of how it plays out, the second yellow isn't a yellow for me. So average for Fred. McTominay, I'll give an average as well. Got skipped past. Him and Tellers got skipped past for the first goal, where Mbappe cuts in far too easily, gets past McTominay, hits a shot. De Gea parries it. And again, the reactions from everyone tonight was dreadful. And Neymar puts away a tidy finish at a tight angle because of people not reacting. So, but that all stems from Tellez just... I mean, he's kind of in position, Tellez, but he could probably do a little bit more to get a bit closer. And then once he's gone, the speed of Mbappe, like McTominay's got to do more. He's a big unit, McTominay, and he has to use that. And he just gets beat too easily. So McTominay gets an average of a 5. I probably should have given him a 4 or 3, to be honest. But I felt, other than that, he was okay. So you could argue maybe below par, but I'll give him a 5. Rashford, I thought, was pretty lively tonight. I prefer him on the right a lot more than the left. And I thought he was lively at times. He had a wicked move with Cavani, where they played in Martial, where it's along the floor and Martial has to score and he puts it over the bar. But it was a good link-up play, him and Cavani with Rashford. So, and he was putting some good balls in crosses and looked lively. So one of the better performances I've seen from Rashford, and he got subbed off and it looks like he might have a knock. So hopefully it ain't too bad. But more of a positive performance from Rashford. One of the best performances I've seen from him for a little while, so that's good. Bruno Fernandes tonight, one of the worst performances I've seen him have for a while. Just not involved in the game a lot, and when he was giving balls away, taking unnecessary rushed shots, and just wasn't at it. So below par for me, but just trying to make things happen as always, but just wasn't there tonight for Bruno. You're going to have these certain games where that's going to happen, and tonight that was him. 4, just below, so I'll give him a 4. Martial, I'll give a just above average. Now, people giving him 3s and 4s on the United stand, which I can understand, because he does have to score that one that he puts over the crossbar. That has to go in. But apart from that, I thought he looked good. I thought he had a good game. And I thought he looked lively. But he does have to score that. So maybe I should have given him lower, but I thought he was one of the better players. So yes, he has to score, but his overall play outside of that was good. So I give him just above average with a 6. Cavani obviously had a wonderful chipped effort that hit the crossbar, which is inches, do you know what I mean, that decides that being a goal or not. Very unlucky with that. He was good again with the one-touch balls and peeling off and running round and, do you know what I mean, laying it off and getting on his bike again. I thought he looked lively again. 7 out of 10 for me. Didn't have too much to feed off, but I thought he looked lively, and I like how he moves the ball and does the one touch, and I like that a lot from him, and I thought he was good. So 7 out of 10. Pogba, come on, had a wonderful volley that was very close. I'm very critical of Pogba, but I thought he come on and he looked all right tonight. So props to him, credit where it's due. 5 out of 10, average for me. I would have given him a little bit more if he'd have scored that with that volley, because that would have been world class. It was very close as well. So 5 out of 10 for Pogba. Donny van der Beek could give a 5 as well. Just tidy again. Come on, done the simple things good. Tidy on the ball, but didn't do anything outrageous or outstanding. Sorry. So 5 out of 10 for Donny as well. Greenwood, I didn't think had a lot of involvement. I'll give him a 2 just because he tried, but just wasn't. I don't think it was effective, to be honest. So 2 for me. Igalo, I didn't actually see him do anything when he come on. He didn't have a lot of time, granted, but I saw him coming on as a sub, and then I forgot he was on the pitch, even though he had very little time. So because of that, I've given him a 1. That could be very harsh, but the fact that I didn't see him once he come on the pitch, I can't give him an average, because that's below average and you don't even notice or see anyone. So I'll give him a 1, but I could have given him a 2 like Greenwood, I suppose. But I actually saw Greenwood get on the ball a few times, whereas with Igalo I didn't. So, and that leaves Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. I'm frustrated because Ollie has to make subs earlier tonight. He's done it in the past, but he didn't do it here. And I just have to question why. Why did you leave it so late to make these subs? Like the Fred thing could have been taken out of it, that happening with Fred getting sent off. Yes, he shouldn't have been sent off for the second yellow because it wasn't a yellow, but that's what happened. And that could have been prevented if you'd have made an earlier sub. Don't leave him on the pitch risking that, because that's what ended up happening. And I don't understand that from Ollie. Donny van der Beek comes on at 2-1. It's too late at that point. And they go on to get a third goal, so it didn't matter. Do you know what I mean? He needs to come on earlier. Not great from Ollie tonight. I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Look clueless on the sideline again. And I just don't understand the subs more than anything. But also the zonal marking drives me crazy. Why are you marking space when you should be marking a player? Because most of our players don't win the 50-50s a lot of the time. So you have to be closer with man marking anyway, which is going to give you more of a chance to win a header or from set pieces than if there's space with zonal marking. The attackers can run onto that, get more momentum, and they've already got an advantage from that. And the fact that we just statistically don't win a lot of 50-50 balls, like, do you know what I mean? It's very against us. So we need to switch the zonal marking to man marking, in my opinion. And Ollie got it majorly wrong tonight. People are going to say it's harsh, but I'll give him a 2. Like, I'll give him a high rating when he does well. Do you know what I mean? Like, credit where credit is due. But tonight, I thought he was poor. From the get-go, the team looked lethargic. They didn't look up to it. And that has to come down to him as well as the players. And the subs. Why leave the subs so late? Just don't understand it. So, and I don't think McTominay really... I don't know, Fred or McTominay could have been swapped for Matic tonight. I'm not saying it would have changed the outcome, but I just don't... Leaving players on too long that aren't having an effect on the game when you need them to. That's my biggest criticism of Ollie tonight. 2 out of 10 for me. Not a good enough performance tonight. We should have won. And PSG have got one over on us now. So I didn't see it tonight. I thought we were going to do well. I was going into the game with confidence and belief, and it didn't happen, but it's going to happen. But we got a tough game now coming up against West Ham, who are in form. People think we're going to beat them easily. It's not going to be like that. They're in form. It's going to be like the Southampton game, in my opinion. So it's going to be interesting. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I'll be back for the West Ham game. Speak to you soon.